Hi, this is your Athens, Georgia Tiny Weather Girl, and I'm here today to talk with you about the weather. So, we've had a little update to our weather situation. Nothing groundbreaking, nothing huge, but it's a little shift, and it's noteworthy because things have been gradually shifting away from us, and today we've had a reversal of that. So it's a small change, but it's a change that we want to look on to see if there's additional trends towards a wetter solution here for us in the Athens, Georgia area. Okay, so presently it's around 30 degrees outside. We got down to 20 degrees last night. And today we should get up around 35, 36 degrees. It's going to be beautiful and sunny outside, pretty blue skies. So if you want to go outside, bundle up, and it's a pretty day to do that. Yep, so tonight we're going to get down to the mid to low 20s, and tomorrow we should, barring any kind of snow, we would get up in around 36, 37 degrees, and then we'll get back down into the 20s on Tuesday night. So the big question is snow. Obviously we've been, the models have not been kind to us the last day or so. We've been trending far away from having any kind of snow form in our area at all. But there's been a little change to one of the major model runs that we in the weather world, amateur weather nerds like me and like meteorologists alike, we've all kind of been watching this and seeing what maybe this might have in store for us as far as any precipitation here in North Georgia especially. So not a whole lot has changed for the Gulf of Mexico area. I'm really excited that folks down in like New Orleans and Mobile, Alabama, Tallahassee, maybe Valdosta, those folks are going to see some snow, especially New Orleans. I think New Orleans is going to get blanketed with snow, which is freaking awesome. So if any of my goth friends are down there, make sure you get some sick pics and send them out. Like, can't wait to see them. Yeah, so not much is going to change down there for them. So this change I'm going to show you is a shift in the northern stream. It's shifted a tiny bit northward from where we were before. So there's two things we're going to talk about here. In this, there's called a northern stream and a southern stream. This is basically a jet stream kind of map right now. This is way high up in the atmosphere. Not quite as high as you are on jet planes. Jet planes typically fly above all this to avoid turbulence. So this is at the 500 millibar level. Jets typically fly in the 300 to 200, which is way higher. So it's a little bit between where your jets fly and down where the bottom clouds are. Kind of. All right. So there's a couple streams at play here. There's one, obviously the cold Canadian air that we're experiencing right now. This is our northern stream, and our southern stream is this area down here where we expect in time, right now it's off of the Texas, Louisiana coast, we expect in time this is going to develop into a low pressure system that's going to bring some moisture into the Gulf coastline, New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, Tallahassee, and eventually this moisture is going to kind of track across Florida and then up the Atlantic coast where it's going to go out to sea. So the struggle here with snow in the south is always between our northern and southern streams. The issue is that our northern stream is bringing this really dry air into our area, and that dry air is going to set in and make it very difficult for moisture or for precipitation to happen. There's not enough saturation in the atmosphere, even though the temperatures are right there for saturation to happen. The trick is to get the northern and southern streams timed better, and we kind of see the timing of that with this. You kind of see the timing. We call this a tilt, and this right now is very positively tilted, meaning that the top of the line is facing more toward the east. So ideally, and it's probably too late for this to happen. I don't think a lot of huge change is going to happen. Ideally, we would want that tilt to look more like this, which would allow a little more of the moisture to build into our area here before the cold Canadian air moved in. Like, we want to have a little more interaction. We want to see a little more phasing with those two streams, and we're not going to have that happen, unfortunately. It looks like that cold air is moving in a little bit quicker than the southern, the moist air from the Gulf. So that's why we're kind of struggling to see if we even get any snow at all. But there's been a little change today, and this is what I want to show you right now. This is the current model run from noon today. This is the 6 a.m. noon run. So it's like 6 hours ago. It's current 6 hours ago, current 6 hours ago. So I know it looks like not a whole lot is changing on this map, but if you look at the border between North Carolina and Tennessee, this is at 6 hours ago, and this is now. 6 hours ago and now. You'll see how that northern stream is pulled back. It's not come down as far. So that's important. That's a positive trend for us because we've been trending further and further towards a more drier solution, and this is starting to reverse that trend. So that's why we, in the middle of that kind of weather world, are kind of excited about this. So what that means as far as like snowfall goes, it doesn't change a whole lot right now because it's a minute change, but if we continue trending in that direction, we'll see even bigger changes. So this is the around 7 o'clock tomorrow night, and right now it's showing Athens Clarke County is kind of right there below the cutoff line in that blue area. I don't think any of this snow actually hits the ground, and we'll kind of quickly look at a SCUT and I'll show you why that is. And right now we have the green dew point line. The red is your air temperature line. This is the atmosphere, kind of a cutaway of the atmosphere. Ground level is down here at the very bottom with the solid line. Our snow is typically going to fall between 500 and around 600 millibar. So snow would typically form in this area right here. Whenever the dew point and the air temperature line are far apart, that means there's very dry air and nothing's happening. And when the two come together, as this is right here, that means we have a lot of moist, saturated air, and that's ripe for development of precipitation. And our snow is going to form typically in this DGZ zone right here, and I've kind of shown where that is. So we see that the dew point and the air temperature line are almost right on top of each other at the start of the 500 millibar level. It's starting to come apart a little bit by the time it gets to the bottom of the DGZ zone around 600 millibar, but they're still kind of close together, so there's still something that's going to be formed right there, so it's not going to be very heavy. The problem is that when this snow forms here in this line, it has to come through this really dry pocket of air. And what's going to happen is that air is so dry and it never really has a chance to recover, that air is going to just evaporate the snow, and the snow is not going to reach the ground, and we have this thing called virga. Virga is when you have precipitation that forms higher up in the atmosphere and it dries out before it has a chance to reach the ground. So this can happen in events like this setup right here with snow. It's happened to us before in the summertime. Like we have these like horrible droughts we've been in for a long time. You know, the radar shows, oh my God, we have a storm moving in and there's clouds and it looks like there's some light rain falling, and you go outside and there's nothing falling. That's virga. So that means there's precipitation falling in the upper level of the atmosphere, and it reaches the drier air down near the surface and it evaporates, and so you don't have anything reach the ground. So that's kind of what our setup here is right now. Looking here for if nothing changed with the model in the next few days, if it just remained this right here, I don't think that we'd actually see any of the snow hit the ground. We might have a few tiny flakes, but it would be insignificant. So we're looking at trends, and again, so this is a current run right here. This is 6 hours ago, current, 6 hours ago, current. So if you look more towards the southern area of like the Panhandle of Florida and South Alabama, you can see those darker blue areas are starting to kind of inch more northward. So that's the kind of trend we want to continue to see in the next model run around 6 o'clock tonight, and again at midnight tonight. We want to see those darker blue areas like build and move further up into Alabama and Georgia, and that will give us a better shot at having some kind of snow. I think it's a little bit too late for us to move this whole potential low pressure system up and us to get us a massive blanket of snow across the southeast. It's not going to happen, but we may still be in play for a little bit, depending on if we can get that northern stream to slow down a little bit more. We might have a chance of getting a little dusting to trace, or maybe a little bit less than an inch or so. Whatever does fall, as you've probably heard everywhere. It's, it's going to stick to the ground, and driving on it is not recommended unless you have like tire chains and such thing. You really need to go out for something. But also a lot of people aren't going to be able to go to work in that, so just know that it's going to be kind of pointless to go out. So if we do get any snow, just hang out at home and play some video games or something. Alright, so that's it for your weather update. It is, we'll check back in probably a little bit later tonight, and if there's anything interesting and new past what I've been talking about today, I'll do another weather update. Otherwise, make sure and leave your faucets running tonight. Pro tip: if you have two faucets, or even your sink, every sink, you're gonna have you're gonna have a hot water source and a cold water source. Those are two separate pipes that come through your walls up to your kitchen sink or your bathroom faucet. And most of faucets today have like one knob that controls both. So make sure when you set your knob, you do it dead center, and so you get a little bit of coming from the hot and the cold water pipes. If you have separate levers for your kitchen sink or your bathroom sink, like make sure you crack both your hot and your cold. The reason, if you only do your cold and your hot water is not dripping at all, that hot water pipe could become frozen and burst, and then you have a massive problem. And you're like, well, I left my faucets dripping. You didn't leave them both dripping. So make sure and like crack both your hot and cold just a little bit. And if you got one that control like the single lever that controls both hot and cold, just have it set in the dead center. This is a little more you're not gonna. It's not gonna be very expensive for you to let your faucet strip tonight. It's not gonna hurt you, versus having one burst. That would hurt you. All right, that's it. That's it for your weather update for now. We'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Go out and enjoy the sunshine. Bundle up. See you next time.